Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Forman, and today we're going to be talking about the Maurice Reverse V Double D. Now, before you kind of go off on a tangent there thinking what Double D stands for, the Double D is actually from the Dirty Dingo. You dirty dingo. It's not from what you think it was from. It's from Dirty Dingo. It's the Reverse V Double D. And this board is in the Reverse V lineup. This is like your small wave, maybe like kind of medium wave point break, but small wave everything. Kind of do everything all around groveler, kind of fun, fishy, good, like kind of flatter faced wave board. Now, I think the biggest misconception with the Reverse V is people think, okay, V bottom, that's gonna have a lot of control, but it's not all that fast. And so like, why would you want to make a groveler out of a bottom shape that's not that fast? And what we found out through developing like the shorty and the Reverse V step up and the Reverse V twin pin is that the boards were actually really fast in not so powerful surf. I mean, obviously they're fast in powerful surf, but they would go good even in kind of gutless waves. So that led us to wanting to develop a, more of a groveler style board. Like kind of like a good like summertime board, or like, just like when the waves are playful, to have something that's shorter and wider. So that's where the Double D came from, is, hey, this bottom shape is working in smaller waves. Let's see what it does in a shorter, wider platform. So the Double Ds all have that Reverse V bottom, which starts out with V up front, and then it just goes into a really shallow double, and then a little bit more pronounced double with a V through the tail. And what this bottom does is, especially on these wider boards, is it makes it really easy to get the board up on rail. And so on the wider boards with a concave bottom, you've got two different things that are kind of fighting you as far as getting the board up on rail and going down the line. You've got the lift of the concave, especially if it's a single, and then you also have the actual width of the board. Narrower boards are going to get on rail easier. So by having this wider board but with a V bottom, it just makes the board really easy to get up on edge and into that first turn. So we learned that in the very first session with the shorties, is that these boards, in late drops or like kind of critical drops, they're really easy to have the board land and immediately redirect and go down the line. Compared to a concave board, there's like no hesitation getting the thing up on rail. And in small waves, a lot of times having a board that can do that can actually help you, because you don't have the space in the wave to get the thing up on rail and getting going. So looking at this board, as far as the performance, we got to surf this board quite a bit at the end of the summer at the lighthouse down here in Cape Hatteras in a bunch of different waves, anything from kind of knee to stomach up to overhead, and really fun board to surf, in those waves, and just really easy to get the thing on rail and going down the line. The nose on this board, it's more of a bullet shaped nose, and it does have a little bit of a beak. Right here you can see it has that Reverse V beak, so it does carry a little bit more foam forward, which is helpful for a couple different things. One, like just getting into the waves and getting going, the momentum down the line. Like this board has a ton of glide through the flat spots, and part of that is the V bottom, but also just having the momentum of just having a little bit more foam, like driving down the line, is gonna help you as well. And this is also gonna help prevent the nose from buckling if you stab it into the bottom, just having a little bit more thickness going all the way to the front. Going through the length of the board, the rails, Maurice is really bringing the rails down, like really tapering the rails. So this board's 6'2", 22, 2 3/4, 41.19. But the rails, like when you put it underneath your arm and you're holding the rails, it's got way less than 2 3/4 on the rails. So the deck really comes down starting at about right here, and really brings the rail down. Nice crisp edge underneath the board, up to about right here, and then still more defined than like a full round up here, but that crisp Maurice edge is right up to about here in the board. So a little bit more edge than most boards, that would start tapering off about here, and that's going to give you more push out of your turns and like more speed down the line. This board the Double D has a diamond tail, and a nice wide diamond tail. and that's going to give it a little bit better release out of the turns compared to having like a big squash on it. But there is quite a bit of area right underneath here for generating speed. 5-fin setup on all the double Ds. We were using these prototype Futures Betas, the R8s, the raked 8s. These, when they get released under an official name, it'll be the Vapor Core fins, and this worked really well in this board. We also used it with these forward fins, the front fins, and then the 4-inch quad trailers, the QD2 4s in the back, and that worked well as a quad. And we also actually rode it as a twin plus trailer with the T1s, and that setup also worked really well. So really versatile as far as like what fins that you can use on this board. So it's the Reverse V Double D from Maurice Cole, another board in the new Reverse V lineup. And yeah, we're stoked with how it came out. Full size runs, you know, low 5s, all the way up through 6'8". We've seen them, I think, 6'8", 6'10". And again, this board that I was riding, 6'2", 22, 2 3/4, 2 3/4, 41.19. Reverse V Double D Maurice Cole. If you have any questions about this board or you'd like to place an order, you can always give us a call at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in.